Welcome into RailTalk, episode number 4. Rotor fans, let me talk to you. I'm excited today for this episode. We got the great Carter Aldrete join us. Carter, appreciate the time, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Independent baseball is a little different than, let's say, compared to the major leagues in terms of you've got players in the major leagues that might play for a team for 7-8 years, and they're big in their cities. They're well known. Independent baseball a little bit different. But in independent baseball, when you're with a team for a couple years, you become a recognizable face. Railroaders in their first 9 years of inception, you think about guys like Zach Narrier, Chase Simpson, Shed Long. Now Carter Aldrete's name's in that group. You're in that upper echelon in terms of your second season here with this club. Hill Alexander, like I said, those guys. When you hear names like that in terms of the independent baseball scene and your name incorporated in that bunch, how does it make you feel?
It's cool. I mean, independent baseball it's a lot more fun than people, made it out to be when we were young, coming up. Everyone wanted to get drafted and do this and do that. And, when all those big plans don't go as planned, you find yourself in independent baseball. And I think Cleburne is a great place to play. I think we have great fans, great host families. And to just be mentioned with those guys, it's an honor, and it's cool to know some of those guys because they're just such great human beings. And I think that's where independent baseball really thrives, is with the people that make it great. And this city and this team has been nothing but great to me. So to be spoke of in that regard is definitely an honor.
2020, it's funny how baseball a couple of years can really change things. 2024 Carter Aldrete and 2026 Carter Aldrete, two very different people. And what I mean by that is 2024 Carter Aldrete, folks might not have known who you were as a player, but they quickly found out. You were top 5 in the league in any statistical category that you want to mention. Arguably, from where I sit, you should have been the MVP that year. Now you're back for your second stint with Cleburne. And coming in your second time around, everybody knows who Carter Aldrete is. For you, is there a weight on your shoulders based on that season you put together in 2024? Because from where I sit, and as we're taping this, we're 45 games in, opposing pitchers are certainly very careful how they pitch to you. They don't pitch to you in 2026 the way they did in 2024, and rightfully so. How do you prepare for that as a player, knowing that you had a year here in 2024 that, you put video game-like numbers up.
Right.
And now trying to achieve even somewhat close to that in 2026. How do you prepare for that?
It's definitely frustrating because, like you said, they're really careful with how they're pitching me, and, that kind of spirals when you're trying to put up numbers. And obviously we didn't get off to a great start as a team, so then people start pressing, all that kind of stuff. But I always tell my teammates, my coaches, baseball's hard at every level, whether you're in the big leagues, whether you're in the American Association. I've seen big leaguers in this league hit 200. Yeah. I've seen big leaguers in this league hit 400. And I think it has to do with just how you show up to the field every day as a professional, whether or not you're going to choose to compete that day. And that's all I kind of base my success off, is my being competitive. I don't want to give any at-bats away, even if they don't mean as much as they once did. But for me, it's just, I love this game and I love my teammates, and I just want to show up every day for them. And like I said, just be competitive, because that's all we're searching for as athletes. We just want to be competitive every day, and we have that itch and that fire inside of us that it doesn't go away. That's why we keep coming back.
Now, 2024 Carter Aldrete, you were still kind of one of the younger guys, right? And you had the Shed Longs and the guys with experience here, former big leaguers, that you could be in their ear, or they could be in your ear, where you could learn some things. Now, quickly 2 years later, you're one of the leaders of that clubhouse. You, Brantley Bell, a couple of others. Talk about, I don't know if it's a responsibility, but it's one that's been put on you as one of the leaders of this team. Talk about your mindset from that capacity and how it's different from just 2 years ago.
Yeah, for sure. You age quickly as an athlete, and especially in baseball. So, when I came here, I was 25, turning 26. Now I'm, 28, and there's a lot of young guys on the team, and they don't know what baseball is like outside of, college. Some guys just came from college and whatnot. So for me, it's just I try to lead by example by just being a good teammate every day, playing hard, and if they have anything that they have questions about, I'm right there to answer them for them. So I think we have a great group, and a lot of our young guys are really good. They just, they're young. They don't know what is ahead of them, what, future opportunities can come if you do put up good numbers and play well in this league. Especially young guys, man, they think their careers are over because they're in independent baseball. And there's countless guys that have gotten picked up out of this league. And there's just future opportunities outside of the big leagues that you can, continue to play and make money and, just enjoy the game while you still have it. And I think just getting that message across to the young guys is very important, because as long as you have a uniform, you have a chance. And sometimes they need a little reminder of that.
2026 Carter Aldrete is also a player that has a little bit of clout, has a little bit of pull in getting players to this organization. Frankie Tostado, one of those. We visited with Frankie last week, and I quote, he called you a cornerstone of this team. I know you feel the same about him. Mm-hmm. Talk about Frankie Tostado as a player and what he means to this organization.
Man, he's a great player, even better human being. Mm-hmm. And we've been together for a while. We played with the Giants together for a couple years, and we were boys then, we're boys now. But when he called me and he said, "Hey man, you guys need a guy over in Cleburne,"
you went straight to Pete. Said, get it done.
Pete. It was a no-brainer. I mean, he's such a great player and such a great teammate. I mean, any team in the world, big leagues included, would be better off with Frankie Tostado on their team. So I'm glad we got him here, and I'm really glad he's on our team and not the opposing teams. That's for sure.
That's what I told him. I said that the greatest compliment I could ever give you is I'm so glad you're not in that Kansas City Monarch uniform anymore, sticking it up our rear every night. So we're certainly glad to have him. I also want fans to realize the difference between the Carter Aldrete on the field and the Carter Aldrete away from the field. I was talking to Frankie Tostado last week, and you two are very similar in this. When you guys take the mindset of when it's game time, you guys snap it on and it's time to go to work. Mm-hmm. But when the game is over, you guys also are professionals enough to be able to kick back a little bit, relax, and not compartmentalize that night's successes or failures and carry it over into the next day. How are you able to accomplish that?
I think just baseball's beat us down a lot, both of us. We've had very similar careers, and a lot of people tell you no, and a lot of people take that jersey from you, and you just keep going and keep having that mindset of, it's just another day, I'm gonna get through it. And like I said, man, baseball's tough. So when you can take that mindset of just whatever happens in between the lines, that's what it is. When you go home, he's having a baby, he's got family stuff going on, my family's in town. You can't take that offer into the house or back home, with Asher. Like, I don't want to be mean to Asher because I went 0 for 4, right? Like, he doesn't care whether I got 4 hits or went 0 for 4. So for us, I think we just do a good job of the game. It is what it is, and we're just so thankful to be playing it still, and we just are so thankful to have each other while we're doing it. So, all of our guys, we got a great group. Cody Thomas, Toasty, Brantley. All the guys that we played in this league before together on other teams. And we're just happy to be here and show up every day and play the game hard and just, soak up all the time we get to spend together, because we know that jersey comes off for all of us at some time. And while we're here and while we're doing it, we're definitely going to take advantage and be grateful for every day we get to spend together out on that field.
Another part of I think, reason it's important that I want fans to understand the Carter Aldrete away from the field, I've been blessed enough to call every game in this organization's history. And it's no secret, I talk quite often during broadcasts the way I feel about you. When I think of the relationships that I've been fortunate enough to build over the past 9 years, I've mentioned the names, the Zach Narriers, the Hill Alexanders, the Chase Simpsons. You're included in that group. When I was surprised with my 750th tribute video, you were a big part of that, and I was so very thankful. And you mentioned Asher. The one characteristic that all those names that I just mentioned hold is you take your responsibility in terms of our youth here in town so seriously. Kids like Asher look at Carter Aldrete as larger than life characters. And I know it's important for you, those relationships and that reputation that you have, if you will, amongst our youth. Kind of talk about being that good example for kids like Asher's age.
Right. And Asher's a great kid, first of all. You did a great job. But for us, we were all Asher at one point, and we all looked up to players that were in our position now. And, you know, we remember the guys that were nice to us. We remember the guys that were not so nice to us. And you always kind of, you know, gravitate towards the people with good energy and that treat you right and treat you like not like a young boy, but like one of the guys. And when you get treated like one of the guys as a young kid, it makes you feel welcome, and it makes you feel like, you know, for how cool he might think we are, we think he's just as cool, right? Because he's such a good kid. And I think that's rare in this world nowadays with all the social media and everyone's glued to their phones. When you come across the youth, you want to, you know, tell them to look up a little bit. You know, there's a great world out there with great people that if you reach out and you can, you know, build relationships with, that's more important than, you know, Instagram and stuff like that. So for me, that's how I feel about the youth, and I just want to be that guy that's, you know, that's nice to them, that gives him a broken bat, that says, hey man, how are you? How was your basketball camp? Because I actually do care, you know. And
you can still take him one-on-one in basketball, though, right? Asher, he can still take him.
A couple more years, Ash, you'll be a problem. But for right now, I think I might still get you in flip-flops. No, I just, you know, the youth of the sports community is very important to us, because that was us when we were young.
Yep.
And we remember the guys that were good to us, and we remember the guys who weren't. So definitely want to be on the good side of that spectrum.
All right, I want to wrap this up with getting to know a little bit more about Carter Aldrete away from the field. I'm going to ask you some hot shot questions. You just give me the first thing that comes to mind, okay? If you're going to listen to one song to fire you up before a game, what's on the Carter Aldrete playlist?
One song. Right now, for some reason, I've been on a country kick, but before a game, I like the music that Oscar was playing, nonetheless. Oscar would always play this, like, I don't want to call it techno because I don't like techno, but it was just like a good upbeat that just makes you want to sit there and dance, because I'm not a headphone guy. I used to be a headphone guy, but now I like to interact with my teammates before the game while we're all getting ready. So Oscar would play like this techno house music, but it was just kind of an upbeat, made me want to dance while I'm putting on my tape and my pants and stuff. So I'm going to just say one of those songs.
Carter Aldrete is also a guy, to pull the curtain back a little bit. He's not a rowdy guy. He's a guy after games will go home, relax, kind of seclude to himself. You're a big TV movie watcher. Yeah. If you had to go one go-to actor, you're going to go home, watch a movie, and you might not know what movie, but you know that you want a certain actor in it. Right. Who's that person for you?
Probably Denzel.
Yeah.
Or Bateman. Denzel or Bateman.
Yeah.
Those two guys are my favorite.
Last couple of binge watches for you.
You put me on Snowfall. That was great. I just watched I Will Find You. Good one. Ozark's one of my all-time favorite with Bateman. I liked Ballers with The Rock. That was a while ago. But yeah, I'm on the shows nowadays. Movies are too quick. Now I need week-long movies.
You need commitments.
Yeah, I need commitment.
Whenever you decide that your playing days are over, you want to stay in baseball? Do you want to eventually coach? If not, what do you want to do? What's 10 years from now look like for Carter Aldrete?
You know, 10 years from now, I'm not quite sure. I try to be as present as I can, you know, day by day for me, but I would love to stay in baseball if the opportunity presents itself, the right opportunity. If not, I think, you know, the world is my oyster. I feel like I'd be good at a lot of things. Wow. Obviously, you know, I like to cut hair.
Which he's really good at. More on that in a moment.
Right. I would like to cut hair sometime. I mean, who knows? The right opportunity will present itself, and it's all God's timing. So I just trust Him with that and take the stress off of me.
Okay, you said the here and the now. Let's take the here and the now. Let's take the next 90 days. What does the next 90 days look like for the Cleburne Railroaders?
Hopefully we stay hot. We bring a American Association Championship back to Cleburne, and hopefully, you know, we can get Pete to come back next year, and who knows, maybe do it again.
All right, you talked about, and I want to wrap it up with this, you talked about hidden talents, and a hidden talent for Carter Aldrete is cutting hair, and I don't know that it's so much hidden. Started in the clubhouse, has everybody down there. Now it's ventured outside the clubhouse. My son, Asher, bat boy for the team, and I quote, has told Carter that when the season is over and Carter is back in Arizona, he is flying to Arizona because now he trusts no one else to cut his hair other than you.
I love that. I love that. I'd be happy to have him in Arizona. And who knows, maybe I'll come back here and spend a couple of days with you guys and cut his hair again.
He's multi-talented. He's a heck of a bat, heck of a baseball player, heck of a hair cutter, but even a better person. Carter, can't thank you enough for the time, my man. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you for having me.
That's the great Carter Aldrete. Another episode of RailTalk coming up next week. Until then, go Roaders!